So Zion Williamson's former marketing agency claims that he took illegal benefits from Duke, Nike, and Adidas dating back to 2014. These details emerged from court documents that became public on Sunday. Duke released a statement saying they had been alerted to potential eligibility issues with Zion, but found no evidence to support that. So Shannon, how bad does this look for Duke?
Well, right now, Skip, what it does, it lumps them into the situation where they look like other programs, the Kansas, some of the Kentuckys, and some of the other teams that allegedly had done things that's wrong. Because sometimes I think we look at Coach K and Duke, and we're like, man, Duke, you know, an education at Duke is worth $60,000, and Coach K has really been impeccable. But, Skip, for me, it just lumps them into that category with some of the other teams that allegedly did things to lure top high school athletes to their programs. But until some of this is proven, all this is an accusation. Skip, I don't like accusation as being fact. I don't like accusation as being guilt. Prove it. Now, she says she wants Zion to admit. Skip, let me get this straight. You want, let's just say for the sake of argument, Skip, I had done something wrong. You want me to produce the evidence to show you what I actually did. Here you go. This is what I did. This is what I did it. Because that's essentially what they're asking Zion to do. Zion, we want you to produce the information that would incriminate you and Duke so we can turn it over to a court. Really? Really? To law enforcement so we can win it? No. Now, Skip, look, I don't really know what happened. I guess what probably happened, and I've seen this happen before, Skip, an agent wants to represent or a company wants to represent a player. The player says, okay, I'll sign with you, but you're going to have to give me some money up front. They take $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, and then they don't sign with said company or said representative. And then the next thing you know, we got a lawsuit on our hand. This might be a situation here. But until this lady or whomever it is, Skip, can prove it, bring the receipts that Zion and his family took improper benefits, and Duke knew about this. Skip, I don't really know what leg to have to stand on. Because if I'm Zion, I ain't producing nothing. Because I'm saying nothing happened. So what is there to produce? There's nothing happened. And what they going to give back? Skip, it's not like they won a national title. What do you want Zion to give back, number one? That's the only thing he got from Duke.
Okay, I agree with your final takeaway. All Zion has to do is basically ignore this and not respond to this. I don't think it's the best look for Duke basketball, which has been, as we know, historically the squeaky cleanest program in all of America. And obviously, Coach K has been the Teflonest coach there is. And I think, by and large, even though they have admitted over the years an occasional player of questionable character, and they paid for that, that in the end, that they have no history of allegations against them for cheating. This is the first flat-out, straight-on, direct hit accusation. And obviously, just to frame what happened, Zion signed with this company and decided he'd made a premature mistake. His mom was in the decision. His stepfather was in on the decision. This Prime Sports, they wanted out from under the deal, and they wanted to go with CAA. So to do so, they had to sue Prime Sports and say, we want out, and there's a loophole here that we can jump through, which is you're not certified by the NBA Players Association, and you're not registered as an athlete agent in North Carolina or Florida. And now Prime Sports is countersuing, fighting the battle, and they want $100 million in punitive damages, and they're also going to take their pound of public flesh because in their filing, they are publicly daring Zion to admit to this and admit to that. And the key one is you have to, we dare you to admit that your mother and your stepfather demanded and received gifts and economic benefits from persons acting on behalf of Duke University directly or indirectly to influence Zion to attend Duke to play basketball. Well, that's a powerful accusation. Right now, it sounds like the NCAA is focused and fixated on the wiretap scandal in which a Kansas University assistant was caught on tape talking about what he would do, what their program would do to break the rules to sign Zion. So right now, the focus is more on Kansas. As you know, there are serious allegations that have been levied against Kansas, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to walk away from this one, even though they continue to completely deny all accusations. Bill Self and company do. But right now, it seems like the NCAA is more focused on Kansas than on Duke. But in the end, I don't think it's great for Duke that this came out. I think once you're accused this strongly, that even if there's no weight to it, there's a little bit of damage done. And yet, in the end, to your point, Shannon, I think Zion just shrugs and goes on about his business, and I think this will slowly but surely go away.
The only problem that I would have, Skip, if you say you're going to sign with this company and you take something from them, pay it back and says, I changed my mind and move forward. Don't take $500, $1 million, $2 million, use that money and just says, nah, I'm going to go to CAA, their bigger brand, and they can do more for me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Skip, there are stories. Now, I know, like I said, I know personally of agents have come in trying to sign athletes, and they take the money, they take a car, or they take $500,000, and they're like, nah, I'm going somewhere else. Well, Skip, you have nothing written down, so he's able to move on. But Skip, let's just say for the sake of that argument, Alabama or Ohio State, for 3 years in a row, they get the #1 running back, the #1 wide receiver, and the #1 quarterback. People gonna say, well, hold on, wait a minute. I understand you getting, top flight recruits, but how for 3 straight years you get the #1 player at three of the most important positions? How is that possible? What's going on here? You're gonna start looking into it. Because I'm gonna tell you what happened, Skip. I don't know if you remember the guy, Tank Black. Tank Black used to be my agent many, many years ago. But I left him and went with the guy that I'm currently with. Skip, he had 6 first-round draft picks. Agents lost their mind. How does Tank Black? He's not Lee Steinberg. He's not Tom Condon. How the hell he get 6? Well, they start digging around and come to find out, he was paying some of the guys. Tank Black went and spent time went to the big house for about 3-4 years. So the look of it at Duke getting these guys, Skip, there might not be anything wrong, but the look of it, like, well, how every year they keep getting. Kentucky had that spell for a second, Skip. You remember they was getting Karl Anthony Towns, and they were getting Anthony Davis, and they getting John Wall, and they got Boogie Cousins. They getting like, well, hold on, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me a year at Kentucky and Duke is shorter than a year at Kansas, North Carolina, or UCLA? So in other words, a year there at those places, Skip, is only 30 days. Because if you only go and Skip to fill your 1 year of eligibility, something has to lure you. Because it's not like these guys like, you know what, I'm going to get my degree from Duke, and that thing going to look good on my wall. That ain't happening.
Obviously. Right. Okay, let me say, do I believe that all the top schools were offering Zion Williamson illegal inducements to sign with them? I just do. I just think that's the way of the world right now. And a lot of it is the NCAA's fault, because these kids should not be forced to have to play 1 year of college basketball. It's so hypocritical, and it's just so wrong. So it's hard for me to condemn them for breaking what I think are absurd rules.
If Zion got $5 million, then he was underpaid at Duke. He should have got more, because those lines, Skip, they had LeBron, they had Jay-Z, they had people in America that don't even go to college games going to see this kid play. So I got no problem with it. If he got $5 million, he should have got another 5.
That opens up a whole different discussion for a different day. I want to go back to Michael Jordan here. Was he a bully or a leader? I got a feeling you two may not agree.